Congratulations, I should say, on the surge. Is it frustrating when you see such a surge in your share price on the first day of trading that perhaps you left some money on the table?
You know, I honestly thank you for having me. I have not looked at the stock trading today.
Oh, come on.
I've been focused. Look, we're building a company here for the long term. And I have the same company today as I had yesterday. And what the stock does today and what it does this week, you know, is what it will do. But I'm focused on building long-term value for our shareholders. I founded this company when I was 23 years old. I put $25,000 on my credit card while I was in law school, and I set out to build a business that could help sales and marketing professionals selling to other businesses hit their number. And I'm just as focused on that today as I was yesterday when we weren't a public company.
All right, so there's been obviously a lot of focus on the IPO itself, of course, of the naming of your company and how it might conflict with the names of some other companies. Talk a little bit specifically, though, about your business and specifically what the customer environment is like for you, given that some businesses now have either curtailed spending or at least maybe put off plans to increase spending.
Yeah, interestingly, look, what ZoomInfo does is it helps business-to-business companies find their next customer. And in a pre-COVID environment, that was important. In a post-COVID environment, that's just as important. And companies are looking for ways to digitize their sales efforts. A lot of companies have had enterprise sales reps who are all out in the field, come in-house or come to work from home situations. And how do you make those sellers productive? How do you make them effective and efficient? You do it with data, and you do it with insights, and you do it with technology. And that's what ZoomInfo provides our customers, over 15,000 companies and 200,000 sales and marketing professionals across the globe.
So how do you continue to grow? How do you use obviously the billion close to that you've raised in the IPO is buying back debt, is returning cash to initial investors. But where do you put money to work now?
Yeah, so first, we sit in the middle of a really large total addressable market. It's a $24 billion total addressable market. We serve 700,000 businesses who sell to other businesses. And so first, we're 2% penetrated in that market, so we have a really large opportunity to continue to acquire customers, and we've built an incredibly efficient go-to-market engine to do just that. And so whether you're a Fortune 100 company like SAP or Sodexo, or you're a small pallet manufacturer in Alabama, if you sell to another business, we have a solution that can help you find your next customer more effectively, more efficiently. And that's as important today, or in fact, more important today in the pandemic environment than it was, pre-pandemic.
So, I mean, with regards to the ambitions, though, for the company, I mean, is the idea here to kind of stick with some of these, smaller and mid-sized businesses, or is the idea to go after some of those large, big corporations? And is your strategy going forward going to focus primarily on the U.S., North America, or do you have more ambitions to go beyond the borders here?
Yeah, it's both. We work with 40% of the Fortune 100, 20% of the Fortune 500. And so we have a real opportunity to grow in the enterprise. But at the same time, this is a solution that can help SMBs and mid-market companies as well. And so they're a key part of our strategy. One customer story that comes to mind is we do business with a company called TentCraft. TentCraft makes outdoor tents for events. And so you go to a Taylor Swift concert, they're the big tent in the background, the VIP tent that's used there. And as the pandemic hit, every event on the face of the earth went away. And they came to us and said, look, we think we can use these tents as COVID-19 testing centers for hospitals, but we don't know who the hospitals in the US are. We've never sold to hospitals. We don't know who the decision makers are. Can you help us do that? And we were able to get them access to the ZoomInfo platform to help them do that. And they had the biggest revenue month in history last week after being faced with a really troubling situation. And we have a solution that can help companies of all sizes go to market. And so enterprise companies, SMB companies, international is in our sights. And so we look forward to continuing to grow in all of those different ways.
Henry, as a business leader, how is the current environment affecting you and the management of the business that you're currently trying to grow, whether it be your workers staying from home? I'm sure as a technology business, you had some infrastructure in place that already helped with that. But also with the groundswell of concern, focus also on the racism debate at the moment, how do you see your role as leadership?
Yeah, look, we've built a company that's been focused on diversity and inclusion and fairness throughout our history. We're going to continue to stay focused on that, and I think as leaders, we're expected to act with more than just words. We'll continue to act in this regard with philanthropic efforts. We'll continue to act in our business to make sure that everybody across the company understands the importance of these issues. There's obviously, a lot of unrest in this country around racial injustice and social injustice. And I do believe that we as leaders have to be a voice against that.
Henry, in getting this offering out the door here, I mean, you obviously had to navigate an environment where you couldn't have the face-to-face contact that would sort of be normal with a roadshow. I'm just wondering if another company out there of your size, of your scope, was out there looking to come to market right now, what advice would you give the executives there in sort of navigating this environment to be able to do it in a successful way?
Yeah, so we spent the last year meeting with investors all across the country, getting them comfortable with our business and helping them understand the ins and outs of it. And so we had built some really solid relationships going into the roadshow. Obviously, we did a completely virtual roadshow. We feel like it was really successful. I think a lot of people will tell you, you got to look into the whites of someone's eyes to understand their conviction around your business. But I think doing it virtually, we were able to do that just as well. So we felt good about the fact that we were able to do this successfully with the roadshow. I would say two things. One, if you have a business that's growing and it's growing profitably, those are key fundamental metrics in your business. And if you have a business that's doing that, I think the public markets are interested in businesses doing that at scale who sit in large total addressable markets. And we happen to be one of those businesses. And so we're really thankful for that opportunity. I will say it's much nicer to finish a long day of meetings and walk outside my door and have a 4-year-old daughter that I can spend the afternoon with. That's a lot better way to spend the afternoon than in some random hotel in New York or San Francisco.
There are silver linings, and family time is certainly one of them. Henry, I've got to ask you, how much of a issue has been the fact that you've been named Zoom and the confusion around ZoomInfo versus Zoom Video versus Zoom Technologies versus Zoom Corp? Has it been a blessing in disguise? Has it been a hindrance? Do you wish you were still called Discover.org?
No, I don't wish we were still called Discover.org. That was a name that got messed up a lot. But we made the decision to call ourselves ZoomInfo, in June of last year, when Zoom Communications was a fantastic business, a fantastic video conferencing business that sold to other businesses. It was before it became common nomenclature for every single person around the world, practically. So I can't go back and change that decision, but I do want to make it clear, we are ticker symbol ZI. Zoom Video is ticker symbol ZM. Both great companies. Also, they are a great customer of ZoomInfo, and they're listed in our prospectus, and we have a case study with them. A wonderful business that Eric's built there, and we're big fans.